Industries, Colin Bell, is calling for the government to provide an update on Jamaica's earnings from the culture and creative industries. Mr. Bell says since the 2021-2022 sectoral debate, where Minister of Culture Olivia Babsy-Grange highlighted earnings of $2.2 billion from the creative industry, he has heard nothing further. He pointed out that it is essential that Jamaicans know what the country is earning from the major industry. Mr. Bell says Jamaica's economic potential in the culture and creative industries is significant, but government's commitment to fostering growth is lacking. According to Mr. Bell, Jamaica's economy is suffering as a result. He highlighted that the global culture and creative industries represent a $3 trillion annual market. Mr. Bell emphasized that if Jamaica could capture even 1% of the market annually, it could vastly improve the nation's economic stability. He stressed that clear and updated financial reporting on the industry's earnings is crucial for planning and investment purposes. He argued that it is challenging to gauge the growth of the industry or to advocate effectively for the resources required to support it.
Welcome back to our business. We now go to Head Start on government policies. Colin Bell is the deputy opposition shadow spokesman on the cultural and creative industries, and he now joins us to respond to the latest CDB report, which indicated that gaps in data collection are preventing Caribbean countries from maximizing the potential of their creative and cultural industries. Good morning, Colin. Welcome.
Hey, doctor. Morning. How you doing?
I am good, sir. How
Morning,
are you?
Colin. How you doing?
Blessings. Right, man. Blessed up, man.
Yeah, man. Blessed.
God's blessing on the item, you know?
Yeah, man.
Okay.
Yeah, man.
Okay, so Colin, the CDB, we've been talking about the fact for a very long time that we are not investing enough in the creative and cultural industries. But here we are getting another side of the story, which is saying that, there are gaps in data collection. And this is why, proper assessments can't be done and we can't maximize the potential. So give us your thoughts on that.
Again, Doc, we put out a press release on the 20th.
Mm-hmm.
We did not see this report from the CDB.
Mm-hmm.
We put out a press release calling on the minister to give the country an update of Jamaica's earning from the sector, the culture and the creative industry.
Mm-hmm.
And basically, what the CDB also saying is exactly what we've been saying. And that it is not just the awareness, but a lack of interest by governments in the region. And I want to speak specifically about my country because I believe that Jamaica have an edge over any other country that is not active in the industry right now to get in and to earn big based on our status, where we are located, the fact that we speak English. But the lack of understanding of the industry is what is beating us really bad. Our leaders, past and present, I quote Julian Robinson, don't understand it. And that's why the PNP right now under Mark Golding has decided that we have to take a serious look and to basically put together policy ready to implement upon the PNP winning the next election to bring this country out of poverty to real prosperity for all, not just for a few. Because what the culture and the creative industry allows is for the average man on the street to create wealth.
Yeah, man. The barriers to entry are low.
Right. So the CDB said that in 2022, the industry was at $1.4 trillion. Their take on it. I from where my research, we were in 2022 at about 2.3 trillion, and presently we are at $3 trillion, over $3 trillion in value on the global market.
Right.
I am saying that Jamaica must invest in this industry because this we're not competitive in most other things.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. This is the most
and
competitive.
Culture is what you turn to entertainment.
Yeah, man.
And people in their salary get entertainment allowance. So entertainment, culture is really a product that you can export.
Yeah, man.
Like when you export yam and banana. Other countries are doing it and are creating wealth for their people. In fact, South Korea developed a music, called K-pop, just to drive their economy, You understand? We don't have to develop the music. We have a music. We have what it takes to, within 5 years, Ralston, start earning $30 billion from the creative industry.
Yeah, man.
The industry is valued at $3 trillion. It employs over 50 million.
Tell our listeners what is needed to help us to achieve that objective.
Before we get to that, Colin, we just need to take a short break for a time signal.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
10:30. Welcome back to Rebels. We continue our conversation with Colin Bell, Deputy Opposition Shadow Spokesman on the cultural and creative industries, responding to the latest CDB report, which indicated that gaps in data collection are preventing Caribbean countries from maximizing the potential of their creative and cultural industry. To achieve our objective and to really capture the contribution of our cultural and creative industries.
All right, so government needs to take the lead role presently where the industry is.
All right.
Government's interest in the industry needs to start at about 1% of the industry, earning $30 billion US, creating 500,000 jobs, paying them an average of 60,000 US per year.
Right. So how must they express that interest? What are the actions that are required?
So the actions that are required is that we are going to invest in infrastructure to export culture.
Okay.
That investment will cost the country somewhere about 20 billion Jamaican dollars, not US now. That's about 130 million US over a 3 years period. Before you start to the real earning from the industry. So there are things that we need to do to build out that. Some of the infrastructure is present in the country as we speak. Not that we are there. So that's why we as a country, we as Jamaica really have a bigger edge over anywhere else in the Caribbean. We're not starting at this industry yet because our culture is also so rich and so well known around the world. So you invest that 130 million US dollars over 3 years, and during that 3 years of investing, you're still going to be earning. Because remember, the industry is already earning in Jamaica.
Correct.
And that's why government needs to know how much it is earning now that it is in the informal sector. And to bring it in the formal sector, government investing 20 billion Jamaican dollars over 3 years to bring the sector to a stage where it now starts taking care of Jamaica.
So,
because how much per year Jamaican earn again, Ralston?
Sorry?
In terms of US per capita.
Per capita is just almost 6,000 change.
All right, and I'm saying that capturing 1% of the culture and the creative industry will bring you out over 500,000 jobs, paying them an average of 60,000 US annually.
No,
you average out the thing. Right. We also, Ralston, and more people must understand this, that Jamaica is right now importing over 30 billion Jamaican dollars annually worth of culture.
Okay.
So these are some of the figures that we need to know. That if we're buying so much, why we can't sell and we have.
Yeah, man, sure.
But the problem is, we don't know how to sell. We at the People's National Party now understand what we need to do to sell, and we want to do it for Jamaica. Okay. We want our people now who have talent to start earning from this talent. I said it last time, culture is Jamaica's oil. This is where our money is. Stop searching for what we have. We have it already. Okay. Thousands of Jamaicans are millionaires because of the culture and the creative industry.
Yeah, man.
You still have hundreds of Jamaicans who are billionaires. If we're talking about Jamaica, you have some Jamaicans. Well, I don't know if not Jamaican reach away from reach billion in the US. But we have a lot of Jamaican millionaires in US who are creative, who make their money from the culture and the creative industry. So we must now start turning the culture, this rich culture that we have, into the kind of entertainment that is created around the world. And Ralston, we've been talking about this yourself, Conrad O'Brien, Simon Kraskill. We've been talking about this, and now we see the CDB saying to people that sit here, I'm not crap the man them attack.
Right. The current minister has a lot of experience in there. Why do you believe it is not happening? The numbers man do not understand it. You can't convince him.
Ralston, they don't have nobody in Jamaica really have the experience in making money out of the creative industry the way we are to.
Yeah.
We at the PNP, we are learning it. And I come into this with some experience I have from a previous job I held and attended a lot of workshops and seminars on the global stage. And I understand and know that content is king. And it's from your culture you create the content. We know how to make Reggae Sumfest. That happened the other night. The promoters should have made at least $1 million US from Reggae Sumfest. Because we talk about festivals in Jamaica. It's not just about the festival itself. The festival is content. You understand? So Jamaicans don't understand. We are producing a lot of things, you know. We're just not selling it.
Yeah, but I'm saying we have a great business manager. Why is he not seeing that?
They don't know it, Ralston. It's not Black and Steel. I said to you a while ago that I said to some people that culture is Jamaica's island. They tell me it's not a product. You understand? Okay, your biggest product what you have that is crave on the world stage, you are saying it's not a product. It is a product that we need to package and export. This is what our people wants to do. And the next PNP administration will create the environment, create the opportunities for this to happen, because we are going to lead the way in doing the things that government are supposed to do. There are some doors on the global stage that are closed to Jamaica. Government needs to open these doors. It is only the government that can open them. And that's why I said to you that government must take the lead. So if we have an administration that don't understand our oil mine and can't dredge and bring up the oil, you need new managers.
All right, sir.
Okay.
Thank you.
We are ready to do the work. We understand the work. And Jamaica should be a wealthy country, because if you can create 500,000 jobs with people earning on average 60,000 US annually, it's big business.
Yeah, man. All right.
$30 billion annually in US will stabilize our economy.
Yeah, man.
The report from the CDB.
That is more than twice the current GDP. Yeah, man.
The report from the CDB, don't take it from me now, but look at the CDB report.
Yeah, man.
It tells you that we can earn from this industry big time.
All right.
Bless you, my brother.
All right, cool.
Okay,
Cool.
thank you.
Yeah, man.
That was Colin Bell, Deputy Opposition Shadow Spokesman on the cultural and creative industries, responding to the latest CDB report, which indicated that gaps in data collection are preventing carbon countries from maximizing the potential of their creative and cultural industries.
Yeah, man. Thanks to Ralston there on Power 106. That was yesterday morning. Yeah, man. So, we play that basically in concert with what we've been saying here. Welcome to Portland Spice TV. Truth TV, right here on YouTube. Every Saturday morning, we're on Mr. 1 or 2. So, lots of things on the plate this morning. But I want to share up this live here. Like up the video. If you have never subscribed to the channel, please subscribe. Send this. This morning, we are going to be talking to veteran politician, former junior minister in the Ministry of Agriculture, former junior minister in the Ministry of Finance, three-term member of parliament for Western Portland. We're going to talk to Jigs Ennis this morning. Yeah, man. Jigs as well. And we're going to have a discussion with him this morning. Basically, on what is happening in Jamaica right now from his perspective. And, we're going to have him on for a while. Yeah. Port Antonio. Morning. We have seen where there was a groundbreaking to build a halfway house here in Port Antonio at, Army Lane. Army Lane. On the site of the poor relief property, right now the center of the town. In a halfway house for homeless people and people with mental problems. Now, the homeless is all right. Mental problems. Gilly morning. Did I call you first night, Yeah. Sorry, Gilly, not you, me that call. I gear me that call. People with mental problems. And my information is saying to me that there have been no public consultation. I spoke with the councillor of the area. And remember now, public consultation we are talking about. We're not talking about groundbreaking. Because when you're doing something like this, the citizenry ought to know, have an understanding and have a say if they want this at that place. My information also is that other areas were suggested by the councillor of the area. And I believe that before we go any further, we'll call upon a halt, hold on upon the construction there. Have a talk with the citizens. We're calling on the Minister of Local Government, Honorable Desmond McKenzie. And we're calling out to the mayor. You worship the mayor. Sir Thompson is worship the mayor. Don't remember the mayor name. No, Sir Thompson, I'm last name. But we're calling on them to pause. Now it's up to you how fast you can have that public consultation with the people of the area. Call a meeting with the stakeholders of Port Antonio, the people that live on the road there. Yeah? Remember, there's a fire station right next there. Public consultation ought to be held. And I don't, not going stray this morning from some of the main points that we want to make. I know there was a public consultation meeting on the construction of a urban center. And that means that there's an intention to do something for Port Antonio. So we are happy about the intention to do something. Now, wouldn't it serve us better or serve our immediate needs to really get the East Harbour development? It's a development that has been talked about for years. That is a development that will bring economic growth to East Portland, that will make people in East Portland start earn more money, more job opportunities, more business opportunities with the development of an East Harbour project would have really put us in a good place. New money. Let me say it like how the youth them say it. What we need in Port Antonio is more money, new money. And me hear some people say, Shaka love talk about money. But The Bible says money answereth all things. And money where you can earn for yourself and develop an empire for yourself. Why you should not have enough money? I don't know who this a call me, you know. And sometime on a Saturday morning, me have to text somebody phone call them. All right, so I know what kind of call there. So, hold the line for me. So, we are talking about making new money in the place. And that's why we've been talking about the creative industry, the culture and the creative industry and that kind of growth that industry needs, that industry will make the Jamaican economy take off. Take off. You understand what I say? That is where right now, in 5 years' time, people can start see the return on investment in the culture and the creative industry, in the project to export Jamaica's culture to the world. We are big out there, punching above our weight, where you will see that in true reflection in another week's time, where you'll be seeing Jamaica dominating on the world stage. We have been doing that for years and have not been capitalizing on it. And that's what we are trying to expound from where there. So last week, Saturday morning, we put out the article calling on the Minister of Culture, Auntie Babsy. Because Auntie Babsy is not about you personally. This call here, what we put out, is you and your ministry, is the ministry, the office of Minister of Culture. Because we can't sit down no longer, watch the grass growing while the horses are starving. We can't sit down no longer with the food on the table and we can't go over to go eat. Yeah. Jamaica's food is on the table on the world stage. We need to get to that table and eat the food. I don't know if you understand what I say. Holy man. In fact, I remember one morning, and I would have told the story before. I went up to Belcastle. Yeah, when I was last community, closer to the border of Eastern St. Thomas. So you actually go flat grass, Hector's River, turn up in the hill. And when I go up there, I hang out with some youth and in the morning and we fry some breadfruit and a whole vibe. And the youth them pop out a video showing me a movie that they made. Showing me a movie that they made. Now, I don't know if I've been catching on, because little by little, me I spill the beans. Little by little. Share up the channel for me, please. Like up the video. Little by little, we're talking about the thing and kind of exposing a little bit more of what needs to happen. Because people hear me talk about this and they want to know what needs to happen. Now, don't expect me to tell you the finer details. Yeah? For the finer details, we have to get to the table. Yes. That table that I am talking about, we have to get to the table and discuss the thing. I'll give you the understanding. But don't worry. If you sit down and wait, the People's National Party will win the next election and form the government. And we'll be in a position to have those listening ear and those understanding mind of a Mark Jefferson Golden. And that's why I've been saying to people that Mark never just, you realize what Mark do? Him have sports separate from culture and the creative industry. Because culture and the creative industry, for what it is right now, needs those hands that understand the business and is ready to implement what it is that we need to get to the stage where we start earning big time, because we are earning. And that's why I call on the minister to give a fulsome report on Jamaica's earnings from the culture and the creative industry, because I want you to know what we are earning from the culture and the creative industry. The article clearly states that in 2022, the minister said we made $2.2 billion in her sectorial debate. That's our 2021-2022 sectorial debate in the parliament. And 2022-2023, she mentioned nothing about the earnings. 2023-2024, nothing about the earnings. And we put out the article, and then on Wednesday morning, we heard this on the radio.
Says inadequacies in the Caribbean Development Bank says inadequacies in data collection is a risk to the cultural and creative industries in Caribbean economies. The CDB says the sector is valued at more than $1 trillion globally. UN Trade and Development's Creative Economy Program reported that total exports of creative services worldwide reached a record $1.4 trillion in 2022. That's almost double that of exports of creative goods at about $713 billion. However, chief of the UNCTAD program, Dr. Marissa Henderson, says despite these figures, the existing data does not fully reflect the importance of these industries, as there has not been enough data collection. Culture and economy consultant and Jamaica's opposition spokesperson on culture and creative industries, Dr. Deborah Hickling-Gordon, says Caribbean populations need to be educated about the importance of their cultural economies. She says the scarcity of data is one of the two greatest threats to the development of Caribbean cultural economies. The CDB says its Cultural and Creative Industries Innovation Fund project attempts to address data infrastructure gaps by training statisticians in data collection and analysis. Economy consultant and Jamaica's opposition spokesperson on culture and creative industries, Dr. Deborah Hickling-Gordon, says Caribbean populations need to be educated about the importance of their cultural.
Sunday, that was RGR News Wednesday morning. But Sunday, hold on, I should have played this first, Sunday morning, this is what came 9 o'clock on RGR News.
Deputy Shadow Minister of Culture and Creative Industries Colin Bell is calling for the government to provide an update on Jamaica's earnings from the culture and creative industries. Mr. Bell says since the 2021-2022 sectoral debate, where Minister of Culture Olivia Babsy-Grange highlighted earnings of $2.2 billion from the creative industry, he has heard nothing further. He pointed out that it is essential that Jamaicans know what the country is earning from the major industry. Mr. Bell says Jamaica's economic potential in the culture and creative industries is significant, but government's commitment to fostering growth is lacking. According to Mr. Bell, Jamaica's economy is suffering as a result. He highlighted that the global culture and creative industries represent a $3 trillion annual market. Mr. Bell emphasized that if Jamaica could capture even 1% of the market annually, it could vastly improve the nation's economic stability. He stressed that clear and updated financial reporting on the industry's earnings is crucial for planning and investment purposes. He argued that it is challenging to gauge the growth of the industry or to advocate effectively for the resources required to support it.
So that was Sunday. That was my piece on Sunday. And then Wednesday morning. All right, hold for me, Jigs. Wednesday morning, RGR carried that piece of news there. So when we attack with things, we basically put it out there the way it is. And we're inviting the government to get this thing started. But if they don't want to get it started, if them don't want to get it started, Jamaica, we have a team that is ready. Yeah, we have a team that is ready to start it and to allow Jamaicans to really grow economically. That kind of growth. This morning, as I said before, we have a chat with former junior minister in the Ministry of Finance, former junior minister in the Ministry of Agriculture. 4-term Jigs or 3?
4.
4-term MP Errol Jigs Ennis. Morning, Jigs. Welcome to Portland Spice TV.
Yeah, man.
It's been a long time we haven't spoken, but I want to allow you to give us your views on what is happening in the Jamaican economy and agriculture sectors right now.
Well, you know, I've been not in the fray for a little while now. But based on where I left it, not much is happening. It just talk, you know, going around saying the same old things. And I remember there was a study that was done as to the transformation and modernization of the sector. And very little of it has been, I don't think they've even it's been even read.
Which one of the sector we are on now? Agriculture or finance?
Agriculture.
Agriculture. Thank you. Yes.
Right. I don't think it's read because you know what it was clear was that the traditional practices were not going anywhere. There were plantation type practices like sugarcane and banana and things like that, and the ones that were not given any kind of a serious consideration as to how you transform the economy in using agriculture. Because the method of transformation was to make sure that the people who were in the smaller sector were profitable, both in terms of technology and in terms of exports and production. You see, you have to look at how people survive and what people do and what people want to do and help them to do it. You can't determine that they must plant sugar or they must do banana. They don't must. Because it takes capital to do those things. And if you weren't born with the capital, like the people at Jamaica producers and the people that own the sugar lands and all those things, where are you gonna get it? I mean, where are you gonna get it? So therefore, you have to concentrate on the people that you want to improve based on their method of production. Well, what do I mean by that? Mm-hmm. The people have identified that small crops is where their interest is. Mm-hmm. They've identified that small goats and rabbit and all those kind of things can make them a good living if done properly. Mm-hmm. They've identified that fruits and vegetables is where they're strong. They know that. Roots and tubers, mm-hmm. right? Tree crops like your mango and all them kind of things. Your apples, your breadfruit. Those are the things that they know that they can do, right? Acre of breadfruit is as profitable nowadays as anything else. Mm-hmm. Acre of onions are profitable. You have to help them in that direction. You can't be dealing with
large production of sugar cane and large production of banana, large production of, and even in poultry. The people can do small poultry very successfully, you know, and we don't have limited. You know, you need probably like the model in Mandeville, John Bosco, where you have the Catholic producing bacon, sausage, all kind of pork things, all kind of things based on small production, and they have the wherewithal to do the taking it up, you know, increasing the value of the chain.
So you are saying that
a small man to be doing other thing in the back end yard.
So you're saying that is not happening right now?
No.
And you are saying that research was done and that was left there and never implemented?
Never implemented.
What are your views on the economic policies that are happening in the country right now from where you sit?
Let me tell you, any set of policies that try to maintain the status quo of the average Jamaican is not a good policy. You have to make sure that the man who has 5 acres, 10 acres, 20 acres has a possibility of using those acres to produce profitable, to earn money, to market his goods, to send his children to school, and to improve their economic thing there. As long as you are doing is sustaining them at a certain level, that's not wrong. I mean, when you really think about it, in relative terms, we have not seriously advanced as a people since the end of slavery. As a matter of fact, some people contend that, our historians contend that we are at the same position, the same relative position that we were at the end of slavery. Because we used to get a lot more help, not help, but sustenance than we're getting now. So, you know, it takes and I don't think it's anything deliberate that people plan this, you know. It's just that we have not thought about how to improve the economic and social circumstances of all people. We think that time will do it. Time don't do nothing. Time just pass.
you have to be deliberate about any change.
Yes, you know. Let's take culture. Culture is the means by which people can be easily be develop and do what they want to do. But we don't take culture serious.
But the question I would ask, Jigs, in your time you were involved in the music, you were involved in some of the culture. What happened then? Why we never move it from that time?
It's not that. I'll tell you why. Because within the political system, there is a certain. You don't get it. It's been captured by other people. It's not captured by the politicians. And that is the game that is played in Jamaica. Everybody believes that it is the politician who is the main person responsible for the way things are. It's not true.
But the politicians are responsible for policies, Jigs, and it is the policies that determines the end result of our country operates.
You think so?
I know so.
You don't know so.
So who really manages the country then? Who craft the direction in which the country goes?
I want to analyze, our government.
Talk to me.
Every year I was in government, we were being told, this is what you can do. You know what? We have never been in a position where we said this is what we want to do, and we have to find a way to do it. No, we have to pay this debt, pay that debt, do that, do this, do that.
So hold on. So my understanding is that back then when IMF used to dictate what the country...
Yeah, and they still do. So, in other words, you only have this left. You only have a billion left for everything else. Everything else can't be done with $1 billion. Okay. And then when they say, all right, we take the $1 billion. And halfway through the year, why? I forgot the capital budget.
So am I to understand then, Jigs, that this present administration is in a way better position than the country was back in the 90s coming up into 2000?
It has improved somewhat, in other words, because the economic, the macroeconomic variables have improved considerably. Mm-hmm. And it has improved at the expense of the people.
Yes.
Because you're killing yourself to have good variables. But good variables mean you don't spend on people. That's why
you don't spend on the infrastructure either.
No, that's what I mean by this. Right. That's why you have this thing. You think you're doing good, but you're not doing good. You're going backwards. Mm-hmm. There's no roads. There's no hospital. I mean, the hospital services are poor.
Yes.
The education system have gotten worse. You cut education services, and you cut everything that goes to the people. Mm-hmm. And you look good on people, and you please the people in Washington and in London, but you don't please the people.
You don't please the people on the ground.
No, and you can't.
What we need to do?
Put it this way. You only have to look at somebody like Mia Motley. Mm-hmm. Mia Motley has determined that she's not going to go down a certain road. Cost it what it may. You have to make up your mind that you want to improve the average living standard of your people.
Yes.
Good God, I mean, if you look at where we were as a people, I don't mean people who have a little house and thing. Look at the population as a whole, right? Mm-hmm. Where we were 150 years ago, and say, how much has we advanced since that time? We have not advanced much, mm-hmm. Right? We have not advanced much. Among the biggest measure of that, if you take a man who leaves Clarendon or Manchester and go to England, mm-hmm. And when him come back after 50 years, village don't change much. Right? The circumstances that him leave don't change much. Yet still, with all the hardship that he faces in England, he now has over 17 Caribbean people in the House of Commons.
Yes.
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 As children going to Cambridge, Oxford, all the universities, you know, still doctors and all kind of things. And his relatives here is still in the same way. They've been begging with their hands open. Send something for me. I want something. Till we have a culture and all that. Anybody travels, they never ask you, send something for me. I mean, look at painting. We have some imaginative painters. We have some imaginative sculptors.
Those are
craftsmen.
Those are creatives.
Right?
Yeah.
If we give them the facilities, they can produce worldwide sculpture, world, paintings. Worldwide craft. They can do a lot of good things. They can create a market that will be there. Well, put it this way: the market is responding to them without we doing anything.
Exactly, and that's our argument, Jigs.
You know, Rasta colors is everywhere in the world.
Of course,
is in Mexico. Trades and Rasta colors in their tourist industry. We hide it, right? All our artifacts, we import them. All people can't make them.
Hold on, Jigs. We're talking to Jigs Ennis, Errol Jigs Ennis, former Member of Parliament for West Portland, 4 terms, former Junior Minister in the Ministry of Finance, former Junior Minister in the Ministry of Agriculture, and we are a whole heap of other hats. Yeah, Jigs, continue.
Take the music. It's not we develop the music. It's other people develop it and get back to us.
Other people endorse it before we.
Out of music that we never discover Bob Marley until Bob Marley dead and the rest of the world. Bob Marley great.
Anybody make money out of reggae more than Chris Blackwell?
Right. I don't want to take anything personal. I'm not saying
it's not personal, but it's just about.
As a people, right? People will come here in droves to listen to our music. But we don't facilitate that. We don't facilitate that. Right? But, put it here. Huh? So we have enough artists, singers, that we could have carnivals of each of them as every year all over the island. That would bring people in almost every month, every week. We have the book festival down in St. Elizabeth, right? The Calabash. We don't support all that. I mean, Angeli, Jolie, and our family come on, and a lot of other people come to go to Calabash. We don't go. We give. All right, we give subsidy to bring in American artists. I mean, who subsidize our Jamaican artists in performing to the extent that we will comparably. The thing is, we believe that you can only produce and make money in buildings and bricks and mortar. You can't make money out of people. The Rasta people have shown us that over all these years, and we still don't learn. Right? The small, if you would think about it, the small vendors, the itinerant vendors are all over Jamaica. They don't have space to make money. You run them off. I mean, wherever they go, they run them, right? And you don't create the space. You need social space, social and economic space where they can show you that what they can do.
Yes.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
We have to use what you call local capital. Right? And local capital don't need bricks and mortar. All they need is people.
You think there's a problem, Jigs, because people can't touch and feel the culture and the creative industry, why they are so hard to see it and understand that this is where our money lies, not in...
One of the greatest Jamaicans, greatest Jamaican. We just lose him, right?
Who's that?
He entered a field that nobody thought could make money. And that is Kingsley Cooper.
Kingsley Cooper, yeah.
Right?
Yeah, but
Kingsley Cooper make money out of fashion and music.
But that's the creative industry.
You
Kingsley
see?
Cooper was one of the lead investors in the creative industry in Jamaica.
I'm going to quote, but chat foolishness. I'll quote the same thing. Him go use him law knowledge and create a worldwide industry of fashion where you exhibit clothes and have models and worldwide models, and then him started with music, right?
Mm-hmm.
And there are others, not only him alone. That's others, but these are. I mean, I bet you, if you ask the question, you don't. If the singers were to bring back their money, you know how much money we would have, right? Who would not have a foreign exchange problem? People think that they don't earn money. They earn money every day.
But
right?
I am saying, Jigs.
I know one DJ. You don't hear about him again for years, but him still touring and him still making money.
Who are you talking
about? And him still having buildings in Mandeville, him having buildings at home. Him still doing well. But him not bring back him money.
No, sometimes when you go on the world scene, when you go up on a tour, you see some artists. Upton James still touring. Big U, them still a tour.
Where you go? I mean, Upton Lewis.
Upton James as well.
Mm.
Yeah, I remember Upton James. Never really hit it big, but him have some solid songs.
Well, yeah, people who tour who don't even know them exist.
Then that me I talk about is when you go out there sometime and you buck up some of the money and say, "Yo, serious?"
When them come airport, them search them down and give them the hard time. Right?
Jigs, we're not going to keep you for too long, but we're really happy to have you on this morning, former member of Parliament for Western Portland, Errol Jigs Ennis. Jigs, back in the 90s, and I want to pick your brain a little bit about the whole situation about FinSAC, because there's some people are missing the point that FinSAC was a means to fixing the economic problems, and people are cussing FinSAC. What effect you think that era is now having on our banking industry, Jigs, where we see the banks are going cashless, and it is all card machine, and the machine's not working. The regulations that now exist coming out of the FinSAC era, where we have a FSC. The FSC took over SSL. SSL took them to court, win that case. That era, what effect you think it's having on what is happening now?
I'm not sure what they're trying to get at. I know what the question is, what you're saying.
I am asking that the FinSAC...
Them all the thief in Jamaican people.
Go again.
Thief in Jamaica and people not new.
But what about the policies that were put in place in the FinSAC era? That is the question I'm asking. Do you think those policies are working for now?
Those policies, and I had a lot to do with them.
And that's why hence I ask you the question.
Saved us from total collapse. Right, because I was in charge of amending all the banking and financial acts. Right, so the banking act, the Bank of Jamaica Act, the financial FSC, all those were implemented or amended. And I had a chair in the committee or on the committee at the time. Right.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So when the worldwide thing came, it saved us. But you have to understand something, you know. Prison never make for white people, you know, it make for black people. You understand? That's the basis of our problem, right? And all the dancing around SSF or what it is, that's foolishness. Man should have gone to jail a long time. Right? But he was a big white man. Them go round and go round and go round and go round till them all that's all. So the man I don't know. Right? And then you want to tell me say one lady in the organization was so powerful she keep her body.
She rob all this money, she alone. But should we have upgraded those policies, Jigs, between the 90s and now? Because it's the same policies that you guys put in place.
They don't need no upgrade for they're already upgraded. The point is that if you don't intend to implement what you have, what's the point of upgrading more?
So you're saying the fact that the minister had a report in his office and never come forward with the report is a part of the problem, and not the policies, not the policies that were put in place to manage the economy?
The law was there to protect the people, and it was not implemented.
Okay, I get you.
Right?
So it's a lack of implementation where we could bring it down to dereliction of duties then.
Pass law and I'm not doing nothing about it. Right? So, I mean, they can go around and go around and go around. I know because I was part of that established the financial system and change the system. So them can't tell me foolishness about that.
Understood.
Right? I mean, you look at it now. You have a situation where there's zero malfeasance went on at the Maritime University and other places.
Oh.
And 3-4 years gone and you can't hear nothing about it.
Case can start.
It's a natural death. No, man.
What are your views, Jigs? What are your views on the Prime Minister's statutory filing not being certified?
Well, I'll put it this way. I was taken to court by Paula Llewellyn because I did not answer one of the questions in my thing. And I had to go to Arbitrary Court, sit down in the dock, and make Paula Llewellyn, me and Omar Davis and a couple more, all this over the course we never did. And as a matter of fact, it was done, you know, but it was, she never know.
And how much years after did that? How much years after that infraction?
That was about less than a year, less than 2 years.
Less than 2 years, and the Prime Minister gone 3.
And she, with her self, right, went to court And she personally went courts.
She come prosecute the case herself.
Yes. A good thing had a lawyer friend here who helped me out and she realized she didn't have no case against me. I think I know Omar was there, the court the day too, and I think one of the PSM was there too. And this is going on, and this is going on now forever and ever. She do nothing about it.
Well, she's no longer the director of prosecution, but the
I
office.
don't know about that.
What do you mean you don't know about that, Jigs? You know everything that is happening.
She knows that she got the court for proof.
So an appeal has been filed. That's the Prime Minister. What are your views on the illicit 8 people who are in the parliament who are under investigation for illicit enrichment? What are your views on that?
Well, not my view. What is your view? What is the rest of people's view? The people don't care about it. The people are quite happy with that kind of story.
What do you think the people should do?
What do you mean what they should do? They should demand to know what is happening. But they're not demanding anything. They just sit down and take it.
But who go and tell them?
But they know, they're on the radio, they're on the TV, they're on everything. If my government were in power, it couldn't happen. They would have kicked us out a long time.
That is one of my views, that had the GLP been the opposition and the PNP doing all of this, they would have bring down the government already.
Whoever, you have to understand now, you see, you have an interest in state power. It would be useful if you sit down and study where state power lies. Who controls state power? Right?
Mm-hmm.
A good question you should ask yourself. Who would you, if you had $10 million to spend, or even less, who would you give it to spend or to invest for you? Who in the parliament do this? Come invest it.
In the parliament right now?
Yeah.
And I have 10 million to invest right now. Who would I call for invest it for me? Mark Golden.
Yeah, I'm not asking about that. Who just think about it.
You don't want me on site. All right, sir, I hear you.
Right?
Mm.
And you understand where we are, right? When you're choosing your government, you must really choose people who can run things.
Yes.
And Mark, we had people too who could run on neither.
Mm. Yeah, well,
I
guess you'd find that on both sides in everything.
But we had, in terms of comparatively, we had superior people.
Yeah, and I think presently that exists.
Right. And Jamaica used to be governed by very competent people at one stage.
Yeah.
Right? Well, it's serious. Everything in Jamaica now is being published, is being politicized. You politicize army, you politicize police, you politicize every striking thing.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, that's that.
Jigs,
I don't know. We're in a difficult time. I think until we understand how to advance the interests of the average working man in Jamaica, and by policies, until we can have our economic and social space for the average man to go earn him living. Put on them concert and doing paintings and doing craft work, doing fishing, until those things happen, they're not gonna. until we can improve our ghettos and get rid of the zinc fence and the horrible condition that people still have to live in. Until we have to do those things as a policy, right? When you live in a place like certain areas, and if you have when you get your pay a week time, you know where you have to go spend your pay? Uptown. Why you can't spend your pay downtown? The best market in Jamaica is a disgrace, which is downtown.
Coronation Market.
Coronation Market.
Maybe the biggest market in the English-speaking Caribbean.
And the market around West Kingston. That should be one of them, the well-developed place, market area.
Yes.
Where people can come from all over, all abroad, come shop. Right?
Yes.
No, but yeah, the food upon the ground, this upon the ground, that filth and the drainage don't go down. Why, you know? Why our people must still be suffer those conditions? Why we can't build a modern market?
Lots more jigs, lots more to talk about. I am not going to keep you on much longer.
Because we don't anything that we succeed in, everybody run take it over, right?
Yeah, we overload it fast.
We make money, them take it over, right? And in terms of music, with the painting, them take it over. Everything them do, them want to take it over, but them no want we have nothing. No man, and I believe that we have to find a way to think of our people as deserving of the best.
Yes.
From top to bottom. I don't grudge the man them have, but the small man, right? Look on your transport system. You still don't want to improve it to the point where the man can travel in comfort.
And dignity.
Right?
Jigs. We could talk again. We're going to talk to you more often.
Yeah, you take it easy.
Bless up, my brother. One love.
I know you don't call upon us on the man. I try to forget these things.
No, I will be calling you more Saturday morning because you realize we don't touch West Portland none at all. So the next time we talk, we are going to be talking about West Portland and its challenges, where West Portland is right now and where we want to take it. Jigs Dennis, thanks a million. Stay healthy, my brother. Big up yourself.
All right.
One love, Godfather. Obi.
Hi, Colin. Hi, Colin. Morning. How are you doing?
Good. That's my mentor. That is the man who brought me into politics. Give me a seat up front. Errol Jigs Dennis, and know a whole heap of things. And if you realize you were listening to him, all his faculties are in place. The only challenge him have right now is visually, but everything else, Jigs, good. You heard the man.
Yeah, man, and let me say good morning to certainly person who served in the political vineyard that I have a lot of respect for, Mr. Ennis Jigs. You know, I remember him in very colorful terms and so on. You know, I remember him stint in the Ministry of Finance and so on and so forth. And certainly one of those persons leave the scene as a 4-star general.
Yes.
As a 4-star general over there in Portland. So all in all, you know, I was very, very interested and a happy moment to hear of Jigs Ennis. And from time to time, we have to really bring people like these into the fore. Let people hear their voices, you know, loud and clear, and know that they are still around. And indeed, it would suit the present crop of politicians to lean on them, to get some advice from them, because there's a wealth of wisdom and knowledge that these people are walking around with.
Well, I sit at his feet, Conrad, and I am proud to say that. You know, very proud to say that. That is somebody who I can run to anytime for advice, sit on his feet and get the guidance. Because Jigs Ennis kind of politics was with the people, you know. on the ground with the people, they're everywhere with the people. Anywhere you see one gathering, look, good jigs and it's the summer night.
And that is what is interesting, Colin, because indeed there are many new methodologies from time to time, the advent of social media, etc., etc. But there's one thing that never ever changes with the politics of the day, and it is what we call pressing of flesh, being there with your people, talking with your people, knock on the doors. If you notice what is happening in the United States right now, you talk about knocking on every single door. So those things remain in vogue, irrespective of the other, nuances that you have to bring into the occasion to round out the thing. But the pressing of flesh is very important, and you're saying that that's one of the hallmark of Jigs Ennis tenure in politics. Because one must understand, one must remember that West Portland was basically came into the fore of the PNP, and Jigs was able to hold it for 4 terms. Not that West Portland was always the side of Portland that was really a JLP bastion, so to speak, from the days of Tony Abrams and so on and so forth. So it must be told. So we need to give a Jigs Ennis kudos. Jigs also mentioned, you asked Jigs some pointed question there, and I don't want to rehash and so on, although those are things that need to be kept front and center, things like the PM filing, the illicit aid and so on. Those are things that need to be kept front and center. However,
but you heard what Jig said a while ago about the Prime Minister's filing and what happened to him?
Yes, I heard, and it would be interested to go into the archives. And I myself, as a practitioner, a talk show host, I have a duty to also go back in the archives, look at these things, and really bring them to the fore. Because one of the things that I try to practice, Colin, and I'm wedded to it, is to bring the information out there, irrespective of who it's going to touch, whether it's going to be touching the PNP or touching the JLP, because we're about fair play, and that is why just last week I was able to ventilate a matter that came to the fore from the candidate down there in Northeast St. Anne. One would have seen that video purloined all over social media. I'm talking about Dr. Ryan Simpson, where he's accusing Minister Matthew Samuda of trying to get his vote transferred into the constituency in a way that, the allegations, he brought some allegations to the fore. And what I did was to reach out to Matthew, my friend, Minister Matthew Samuda, as well, and tell him that, listen, I have a platform. He's invited, because I believe in getting both sides of the story and so on, because I gather from Dr. Simpson that he received a letter from the attorney of Matthew Samuda asking for a retraction and an apology. Dr. Simpson said that, listen, he is not going to do that because he believes he has a strong case. So that's one that we are anticipating some further development on in the coming week, and what this would mean if a minister of government has tried to get his name on the voters list in our constituency.
See, that he is not qualified. You just said something. What would it mean if all this that Dr. Ryan Simpson put out there found to be true?
Absolutely.
What would happen? What? Nothing? Just nothing again?
Well, I think there are some legal issue that could flow from that. I anticipate talking to Senior KD Knight to kind of find out from him, just for my own edification and so on. So when you speak on this, you can speak, at a level of certainty in a general sense, not just to zeroing on any one person or so on, because as I said, these are mere allegations against the minister. So what we want to know, if in such an event, if persons are found to be guilty, what would flow from it? Want to educate ourselves and do it. It is in a full some way. But Dr. Ryan Simpson, he is holding to his position. I tried to get Matthew on my program. He told me that he is very busy. He said that he will be able to speak with me maybe mid-August, the 15th of August. So I'm looking forward to have that discussion with him.
Whoa.
I'm looking forward to have that discussion with him, But as I said, Colin, I am at a place. It's always been, but even more so at this point. I'm at a place where Jamaica is my mantra. Jamaica is the space that I am batting for. And that is why I will put the point in question to government at this time. While I'll ask question of the opposition, and I will say that the opposition need to do X, Y, and Z. But as it relates to the fiduciary responsibility of the country, I have to go to the government, because it is really the government who controls the purse string. So for example, at a time. Absolutely. So for example, when we hear about money being given, and when we say given, it doesn't mean that, listen, you line up in our line, our 63 MP line up in our line, and 10 million cash is handed in your hand or thing like that. But we know the situation, and we know that when the member of parliament is given the money, they have jurisdiction over it, and they can basically dictate how it must be spent. And we know that there are means and ways of getting it spent in a particular way. So we have to ask this question: why not a better way, such as involve your councillors, who you have a better distribution? Why not look at civil society, such as the churches or the organization, to play a major role in these things, Conrad, so you have a greater level of equity?
It goes back to something that Jig said a while ago, that all the agencies have been politicized. So what the government is playing is politics. They have more member of parliament, so they're giving the money to member of parliament. If they give the money to councillors, 115 PNP councillors go and get that money, and therefore they are limiting the whole thing.
Versus 113 on the Labour Party side.
Right, because I am saying, give it to MP, give it to councillors, and everything spread across, because everybody have them side. Give it to churches. Give it to some of those organizations, so that anybody who is affected will benefit from the relief from government. Is our taxpayers' money. But Conrad, what I want to look at this morning, where I want to bring you to this morning, and don't call me a show off, but may I bring this to you this morning?
Sunday. Maybe you need to stick up in there, Colin. Don't go there. Let me see if we're converging, because my reason for coming on this morning.
No, go ahead.
My reason for coming on this morning is really to commend you.
Okay.
To commend you in a big way, and to really give even more ventilation to the point that a king doesn't get that kind of honor in his own space. Because you've been out there, Colin, almost like a sore thumb. And even though you have in your party, you have a senior minister, senior spokesperson, shadow minister, you're the one, and respect, good morning, Deborah, but you're the one, Colin, that I saw out there leading the charge in this creative industry. And I'm saying that I believe that you must be given the requisite credit that you deserve. I listen a news clip from RGR, Colin, from the CDB, the Caribbean Development Bank. And when I heard that clip, I was wondering if there was some level of plagiarizing taking place.
But Conrad, let me
Yes.
bring our viewers up to date.
Uh-huh.
On Saturday, the 20th, Saturday was the 20th. On Saturday, the 20th of
Yes, it was the
July,
20th. Mm-hmm.
we put out a press release, and RGR News carried this.
Deputy Shadow Minister of Culture and Creative Industries Colin Bell is calling for the government to provide an update on Jamaica's earnings from the culture and creative industries. Mr. Bell says since the 2021-2022 sectoral debate, where Minister of Culture Olivia Babsy-Grange highlighted earnings of $2.2 billion from the creative industry, he has heard nothing further. He pointed out that it is essential that Jamaicans know what the country is earning from the major industry. Mr. Bell says Jamaica's economic potential in the culture and creative industries is significant, but government's commitment to fostering growth is lacking. According to Mr. Bell, Jamaica's economy is suffering as a result. He highlighted that the global culture and creative industries represent a $3 trillion annual market. Mr. Bell emphasized that if Jamaica could capture even 1% of the market annually, it could vastly improve the nation's economic stability. He stressed that clear and updated financial reporting on the industry's earnings is crucial for planning and investment purposes. He argued that it is challenging to gauge the growth of the industry or to advocate effectively for the resources required to support it.
That was 9 a.m. Sunday morning, the 21st, carried on RGR. Now, this is Wednesday morning, the 24th, on
Yes.
RGR. Listen this.
The Caribbean Development Bank says inadequacies in data collection is a risk to the cultural and creative industries in Caribbean economies. The CDB says the sector is valued at more than $1 trillion globally. UN Trade and Development's Creative Economy Program reported that total exports of creative services worldwide reached a record $1.4 trillion in 2022. That's almost double that of exports of creative goods at about $713 billion. However, chief of the UNCTAD program, Dr. Marissa Henderson, says despite these figures, the existing data does not fully reflect the importance of these industries, as there has not been enough data collection. Culture and economy consultant and Jamaica's opposition spokesperson on culture and creative industries, Dr. Deborah Hickling Gordon, says Caribbean populations need to be educated about the importance of their cultural economies. She says the scarcity of data is one of the two greatest threats to the development of Caribbean cultural economies. The CDB says its Cultural and Creative Industries Innovation Fund project attempts to address data infrastructure gaps by training statisticians in data collection and analysis.
All right. So, before you come in, Conrad, I want to say that Dr. Deborah Ickling is the Shadow Minister of Culture and the Creative Industry. Very knowledgeable, and she's out there. It is a team that Mark Jefferson Golden, in his wisdom, has put together so as to ensure that anytime, as soon as the PNP form the next government, the culture and the creative industry, we will hit the ground running, because this is what is going to change Jamaica's economy. And the way how the team has been structured, Dr. Deborah Ickling as the Shadow Minister, yours truly as the Deputy. We have Dr. Olivia Rose, who is a sports psychologist, also on the team, and Ocean Grant, who is a lecturer at the University of the West Indies, I think, over there in Antigua. So it is a dynamic team, and I'm not out there by myself, Conrad. Before, you would know that we've been talking about the creative industry way before even named as Deputy Shadow Minister, because that's why we were named, because of the work that
I carried a number of times on it.
Right, that we've been putting on. So yeah, we really appreciate the fact that the Caribbean Development Bank has now put out something to say that, look here, what this man has said is what is happening. There's a deficit in the interest in the industry. I don't want to blame the government, because if somebody don't know, you don't know. So I am putting it to a lack of knowledge of the industry. And that is why we've been lagging behind and we've been unable to really earn what we're supposed to be earning from this industry. It is the way to go for Jamaica. This is where we are competitive. And I said earlier this morning, in a couple of days, you will be seeing Jamaica on the world stage punching way above our weight. And that is what I'm talking about, the level of demand that is out there for Jamaican culture. And if we really get into this thing and exporting the culture, Conrad, I am telling you, I want to tell you something, Conrad. A man in your position in the United States, who is an anchor for a TV show, earns easily upwards of $250,000 US annually, you know.
Absolutely.
When you look at people like Wolf Blitz and them kind of man, the past, you know, a crazy money them earning, you know. It's not quatty, you know.
Yeah, man. Jakes, Topper, and et al., you know?
Yeah. It's crazy money them earn. Christian Amanpour, these people.
I'm going to say this to you, I'll call it. I have a cousin. Well, she's like my sister. We grew up together, Winsome. Oh God, I love her so much. Winsome Sharp married Briscoe. And Winsome often said to me, Conrad, I hope they might pay you a whole heap of money, you know. When I listen to you and I listen to the kind of program that you put across and whatever, I hope that you earn a lot of money. So I'm saying that just to, you know, to really dovetail into what you said, because you know it's that kind of thing, Colin. In the creative industry,
you can't earn that kind of money in Jamaica. We have a small population. We don't have the market space, but the market space is available. We don't have it in Jamaica, but it's available. And those are the things that government now needs to do, Conrad, to make that to open that market space for Jamaicans. So we can basically get out there. Sorry. So it is not difficult to do. And as I said to you on your program the other day on New Start 93 FM, the programs are shovel ready. Lot of the infrastructure. We have a lot of the infrastructure available in Jamaica that we need to use.
I must say to you, Colin, that interview that you did with me, when was it? Last week, Monday or so, on New Star. They have gotten you know, expression from as far as Germany. You know, Germany, for people who asking who is this person? Who is this person? You know, and so on, because they're quite fascinated of the information that you put out there. You know, so Colin, once again, you're raising the bar, so to speak. You're putting the information out there in a way that the average man can understand the stake that he or she can have rather in this in this industry, you know. So it's very interesting.
I said to, I think it was Ralston yesterday morning, that Reggae Sumfest is should be the greatest reggae festival in the world. It is not the largest reggae festival, because when you go to Europe and other places around the world to some reggae festival, you're shocked out of your wits. I have been to reggae festival in Belgium that the venue had over 100,000 people at a reggae festival. And I think it was a 3-day festival in Belgium. That's the largest reggae festival that I have been to. So when I say that Jamaican culture is in demand, it is in demand around the world. people want to know about this little nation. People want to know. I mean, no time to die.
How could we earn as Jamaica, Colin? What mechanism could we put in place? So, for example, the fact that reggae is indigenous or originated in Jamaica. How could we earn from a mega festival such as that you talk about that in Belgium? There any mechanism that could put in place?
We do earn from those festivals, right? As it relates to the artists themselves going there to perform.
Yes.
I don't know what reach an organization like a JCAP or JAMS have in terms of collecting royalties. Because when I put on my festival here in Jamaica, I have to pay JCAP. You understand? When a man put on a dance in pay JAMS. But I don't know the reach overseas to get our share of that. But the whole framework of earning from our music is not to get involved with what is happening in Belgium, but to put out so that when it gets out there, we collect for it. There's a way to do that that we are not doing. Also, we need to get Jamaican culture to people in comfort. I'm not going to say more upon that. I'm not going to spill the bean. I mean, Mystical always said to me, say, don't cast your pearls before swine, lest they trample upon it. So some of the details we will not give on in the public space. But like you said to me on your show, would you be willing, Colin, to, if the government call you in tomorrow morning and say, we want to get this going, would you be willing to give them the information? Of course we would. We would. Because the thing is about Jamaica, and it not going up in a year. It will take a 3 to a 4 years period for the implementation. We also need to start looking at our education and some of the things that we start teaching in our universities and our colleges and our community college like Heart, places like those, because we need to start training people so as to take the jobs that will be available when you start developing the culture and the creative industry. Let me explain something to you, Conrad, about this industry and my aim, our aim in the People's National Party to capture that 1%. 1% of an industry that we are very competitive in. That I know that over a 10-15 years period, we should be taking at least a 5-7% of that industry. And that will see Jamaica being a wealthy country. But I want to start at the low end and climb, right? If we capture 1% of the culture and the creative industry, watch me now. The industry is valued at $3 trillion, right?
Hold on, stick up in there, Colin. The CDB, has they gotten the figure incorrectly, because you quote 3 trillion.
No,
they're quoting
1.4, but that's 2022.
Oh yes,
it's 2022, and even though at 2022 they are quoting 1.4, my research shows more than that for 2022. So, as they also stated in the release, that there's gaps in collecting the data. So we understand that the data has not been collecting properly. And in any industry, you have the formal and the informal side of it. So the $3 trillion presently is even conservative. But watch what I say to you. That 1%, the industry also employ 50 million people. Right? So if Jamaica get to the stage where we are capturing that 1%, the jobs from the industry will be about 500,000. And the average salary annually for those 500,000 people is not no $6,000 annually US. It is about 60,000 US annually these people will be earning, because jobs in the creative industry, the culture and the creative industry, are good paying jobs, if not high paying jobs. You understand? As we like to explain to people that you have Jamaicans right now who are earning 150,000 US for an hour worth of work.
True.
You understand?
We know a lot of them.
Exactly. So we are talking about high-paying jobs. It is in the creative industry, that you have a man who can pay a helper $50,000 a week to look after a mother.
Mm-hmm.
And then people can pay them money there,
Mm-hmm.
And that's what we are talking about. So when we capture that level of the industry, we will be seeing people becoming millionaires in Jamaica. And you hear me talk about it, creating a lot of new millionaires. There are people in Jamaica right now who are working in the culture and the creative industry. You do.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I do.
Mm-hmm.
So even the 500,000 jobs, it might be about, let's say, 350,000 new jobs. But you'd have that about 500,000 people working in the industry. So it is not no small feat we're talking about. We are talking about major infrastructure development to export culture. We are talking about major business opportunities that will come our way. We are talking about major job opportunities in Jamaica. Conrad, in the last 2 big movies that came out of Jamaica, the James Bond movie No Time to Die and the Bob Marley biopic, together, those 2 movies have earned over 300 million US dollars.
Mm-hmm. 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 Mm-hmm.
Yeah? Just 2.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and Colin, one of the things that very important with the cultural industry that you talk about is that it is not age sensitive.
None at all.
Meaning there's no lower or no upper limit in terms of age.
No gender bias.
Mm-hmm.
No gender bias either.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
There's no educational limitation either.
Mm-hmm.
There's a job for the man who is illiterate, and there's a job for the PhD or the professor in this industry. When we say Conrad, there's a job in this industry for the man who is illiterate. There's a job in this industry for the visual impaired. There's a job in this industry for the man who is unable to walk. There's no limitation to the possibilities in the culture and the creative industry. Everybody have a chance.
You know the I don't know when Portia Simpson Miller was prime minister, it's an industry that she started to give some focus. She will hear her talk about. There was two areas that Portia was really that Mrs. Portia Simpson Miller, the most honorable, she was really up on. She always talk about the creative and the cultural industry. And there's also the climate change aspect of things that she was always keyed on. And that's why she was the first minister the first prime minister rather, to put a specific minister with responsibility in that area in the form of Bobby Pickersgill. So what had happened since, Colin, is that there has been and I think Jiggs alluded to it. What? The ball certainly dropped. Nobody, this administration just not paying any attention to the industry. What? And it's kind of sad because Sister Babsy have some background in this industry. So what?
Conrad, let me say something to you. There's an aspect of the industry that has missed a lot of people. And it is I held a job from 1995 up until about 2017. That gave me an opportunity to understand the culture and the creative industry. The mantra, the mainstay of the culture and the creative industry is that content is king. If you have content, you can make money in that industry. Now, what is content? There are people in Jamaica who say that culture is not a product. Can you believe that? And people who are in high places too.
No,
culture is not a product. And therefore, right there, so you miss the ball because culture are one of the biggest products that Jamaica have. And I will continue to say this, that culture is Jamaica's oil. Saudi Arabia, all of them countries, they have oil. That is what they make money from. We have culture. We have a rich culture. Rich. And we have talented people who can turn that culture into entertainment. And when we turn that culture into entertainment now, the packages, the plan now is to package that and export it. How do you do that? That is one of the part where a lot of people don't understand. And therefore, with all Bob's knowledge of the music, and yeah, that part they kind of miss a lot of people. And I got that opportunity because I was able to attend a lot of workshops, a lot of seminars, a lot of symposium as it relates to that part of the business. And now understand what it takes. I have a friend who named Norbert Bradshaw. For years, we've been looking at this. Pilot, Captain Bradshaw. We've been looking at it and realizing that, hey, and we watch other countries do it now. We watch other countries get into it. Because the money that a country makes from this industry, you hear me say Jamaica should make on average 30 billion US dollars annually. That is joke to what the US is making. The US is making 690 billion US dollars annually. We are closer to $1 trillion. 690 billion, call it 700 billion, nearly 3/4 trillion. The US making out of it. England is making 125 billion pounds.
You know, Colin, I'm going to give some youth a props this morning. I heard of them. I set a youth in the Mapen Van Park. They are designers. They do clothing. The creative industry of which you talk about so eloquently. What this could mean if we really build out this industry,
Millions.
get event going, get whatever going for these youth in Mapen at Van Park.
Conrad, the industry need those people. Image is everything. And in the creative industry, image, massive part of the industry. So when you talk about the what brand them around the world, it's not a brand man, but the Louis Vuitton, you name them.
Yeah,
those people are billionaires. Those people in the park, those youth in the park on a Mapen, with the opening of the creative industry, those youth will be able to say, Conrad, you know, say, remember the man with your boss, what kind of ride you want, Conrad? I buy you that.
Yes.
Those youth will be in that position, owning their craft and making the true money that they're supposed to make from it. That's what I try to say to people. The fire dance, what you see at the hotel, at the fire dance, him will have an opportunity to make real kind of money. The cabaret singers, the youth, them when you pass on the roadside, I jump off of some bridge and I jump in some blue hole. There is a space for them in that kind of industry. The man where you sit on a corner, go on like him an idiot and give them joke every day. And you go past some corner, you have some man, once them open their mouth, you start laugh. Those people will now start benefiting from that talent. That's a talent. That's an immense talent that people crave around the world. I like to use Glenn Campbell because Glenn Campbell
your own intellectual property.
Yeah. Me think Glenn Campbell better than Will Smith every day, any day. But Glenn Campbell now make no money. He can't count Will Smith money.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
What we are offering is to put Glenn Campbell right beside Will Smith. To put Oliver Samuels right up which part Jefferson and them man they go. That is what we are talking about. because Jamaica possesses the talent. Conrad, Usain Bolt. Usain Bolt is a star, no? Not just an athlete, you know. Usain Bolt talented, you know. Him have image. You see Chris Gayle go around now show image.
Yeah, man.
You see, are you seeing Christopher Gayle? India, Conrad. Let me use that cricketing nation. India makes $115 billion annually from the culture and the creative industry. Jamaica, we just need to do what we need to do, man. And I am saying this morning, you hear Jigs ask a question earlier. If you have $10 million now, and you're looking at the parliament, and you say you want somebody in there to invest that $10 million for you, right now in the Jamaican parliament, who would you give that $10 million to? I say it again, Conrad. Jigs asked this morning. It's not when the man asked me this morning, I say, wow, this is brilliant. The man said,
it's a master stroke.
Yo, the man said to me this morning, if you have $10 million now as a Jamaican and you want to invest it, you want to make money upon the 10 million, who in the parliament would you give that $10 million to?
Yes.
And when I answer him, I never want to answer. But I felt compelled to answer that question. The question was so brilliantly coined.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And you know that is the magic. That is the magic of somebody like a Jigs. You know, really just come and he encapsulate everything in just one moment.
Yes, man.
Brilliant.
Yes, man. Pure brilliance this morning. So we are saying to the people, you know, that whatever we've been doing to own our skills, continue. Develop on your skills. Develop your talent. Because talent has value. Serious value talent have.
Colin, let me ask you a question. And I know you will have the division, you know, for whatever reason. But it is obvious that you are now coming into your own in a big way. On the political stage, you are now getting the highlights from major news network here in Jamaica. You know, you're out there, you're on basically all the talk shows, etc., etc. You have become a household name. And the fact that Mark Golden sees in you the kind of talent that he elevates you to a deputy shadow minister. What's your constituency, even those who may have been naysayers at the beginning? What kind of vibe emanating now? Because that word vibe, very, very important. It's a word that is now trending in America politics, you know. When I listen to CNN, I hear them talking about the vibes now. And I say, my God, there goes Jamaica again.
Yes. Yeah. Conrad, let me say this to you. There has always been a vibe amongst the people on the ground. As I said to you, I learned my politics at the feet of Jigs Ennis. Be with the people, out there with the people. The people in East Portland on the ground are saying to me, Shaka, me just want you to get if I even one of them something the way I say get done. That's what the people on the ground there. They are coming to me and you're feeling their passion and they are saying, yo. In fact, I think it was Wednesday evening.
Yes.
Our free schooler ends out with some of my people. And they are saying to me that you see that plan the way you have for Navy Island, Shaka. If we get that done, you know, East Portland is back. Because there was a time when East Portland used to be the major earner from tourism in Jamaica, you know.
The Mecca.
Yeah, man. Remember, there was a time when a Port Antonio alone cruise ship come to Jamaica, you know. The cruise ship never used to go nowhere else. There was a time when Roof Club used to open at daytime in a Port Antonio. full of shit, man.
I remember hearing about the great Roof Club from
Yes,
back in
man.
the day. Yes.
Yeah, man. Most of the roof club them around the world take them name from the roof club of Port Antonio. You know? So Port Antonio used to buzz, and you have a lot of people who are still here who know when it used to buzz. So if you want to increase the economy of Port Antonio right now in a quick time, yeah, it is tourism that is going to do it. And that's why I say to some people, there is a good intention to build what they are calling a urban center here in Port Antonio. And I'm saying to them that that money that you're planning to use to do the urban center, what if you use it and develop the East Harbor so that the big cruise ships can come to Port Antonio? I am saying to them, Obi, if we get one a week, just one a week, with all our attraction, because Portland, as any one parish, have the most natural tourist attraction in Jamaica, you know. So we have places for these people to go. We have things for them to see and to enjoy. Port Antonio, for the last 20 odd years, I've not seen no great influx of tourism, of tourists. So Port Antonio is new frontier. Yeah? So people are excited because...
But Colin, it begs the question. You have a man who is dubbed by some people as action man, and so on. He and his wife basically control Portland. You would say that they have the prime minister here. Why, Colin, have we not seen anything of substance happening, whether in East or West Portland in general? Why?
Conrad, let me say that it is easier to mash down than to build up. Yeah? And I keep at the tourism sector in Portland, because that is what we know. That's what used to bring big money to Portland. In the 80s, when Anthony Abrams was Minister of Tourism, that is when the tourism sector went down in East Portland. And we have not been able to rebuild since. The man who calls himself Mr. Portland has been here for 17 years, over 17 years now. Yeah? And has not been able to really bring any kind of significant investment into the constituency or into the parish.
And his government is in office for 13 out of those 17.
Hold on. For that 17 years, yes, he has been in government for 13. So he has had the reins of power. And I concede this, Conrad, that if you're talking about the top 10 most powerful men in Jamaica, whether in politics or out of politics, I said that man is in the top 10. Him have power, him have connection. As you said earlier, him have the years of the prime minister. Some people even want to accuse him of running the country. So he has connections, and he has not been able to bring any kind of investment to the parish. And I am saying to the people of Portland, he has never promised us anything either. So I never like him come with a vision, Conrad, and articulate the vision and say, me, I'll get this done and me, I'll get that done. So we can hold him to it. He has made no promise. He has articulated no vision. He has laid out no plan. And to that 17 years, I want to have his wife 5.
So you can't hold him to nothing.
Exactly. There's nothing to hold him to. You understand? There's nothing to hold him to. And if you had his wife 5 years to it, is 22 years that they have been in charge of the parish. I'm saying to the people of Portland, after 17 plus 5, 22, they have nothing more to offer us. Conrad, I talk about the East Harbor development. That is what we need in Portland right now. Or the World Reggae Park. One of those development will see the economy of Portland start growing by at least 7 to 8%. The economy will grow. Now, when you look at the East Harbor, Conrad, there's a place called Folly. I don't know if you know the history of the Folly Great House. Folly Lighthouse. The Folly Great House had air condition before maybe any building in New York. Yeah, it is now
Similar to Black River and St. Elizabeth with electricity.
Yes, yes. Folly is a heritage site. Conrad, I went over there. I think it was Wednesday morning. One of them morning there. And to my disappointment, Conrad, the people are throwing garbage. Garbage, them are throwing Folly.
Oh
Garbage.
my God.
Folly now become a garbage dump. We could drive, go up to the Great House. You can't drive, go up there no more. When I tell people on this platform on a Saturday morning that Portland, especially East Portland, is under no management, people think me have politicized the thing. There is no management of our resource, of our asset, of anything going on in East Portland.
Another thing, Colin, thanks for that. Something I'm going to put on your radar, and I want you to probe it. One of our greatest heritage as well, the Ward Theatre, downtown Kingston. What happened early in the piece? Well, there was some spending that was taking place under the previous PNP administration. When the JLP took over, and I remember distinctly with the former mayor, Feder, right? Mayor Williams. And a lot of money supposed to be have spent there, millions and millions. And he would give dates and dates and dates and so on till it peters out to nothing. I would love you to probe this, Colin, and get some updates.
Yes.
You know, maybe you can talk to
I went to the Ward Theatre as a little boy.
Yeah, sorry, exactly. I did too as well. You probably can talk to the now mayor, who is your colleague, find out what is the situation and that and so on, and maybe you'll be able to get a release out on that, because and I want to take the time out to credit a listener of mine that goes by the name Africa. He is from in Mr. Chuck's constituency of Grandspend there. And he's one of the person who week after week call me and keep on asking, hammering away.
Conrad.
What is the situation with the Ward Theatre? So I'm giving you that bit of homework, Colin.
Yes, and I want to say something about the Ward Theatre. I have been in the Ward Theatre maybe 3 or 4 times. And I will say to Jamaica and everybody listening right now, there is no theatre in Jamaica present that can compare to what the Ward Theatre was back then. None. The Ward Theatre, I don't know if I become a little bit. It is bigger than any theatre we have operating in Jamaica now. You think so, Conrad?
Yes, I still believe so, yes.
It is bigger than any theatre we have in Jamaica operating now. It used to be fully air conditioned. Upstairs on the balcony. Yo,
yeah, man, state of the art.
And that was way back in the 80s.
Way back
80s. So what we are saying, Conrad, is that as it relates to even the creative, the cultural infrastructure, we had something that was better than anything that we have now. Jesus. Serious? We have to probe this Ward Theatre thing, Conrad. We have to probe it. We have to probe it.
You're seeing this person who was sending in this text.
Which one? Which one are you talking?
Somebody is saying when you have an interest,
yes,
you become one track. The PNP run the country for 4 terms before Bruce Golding
got 1 term. Then Peter Phillips, along with the US force him out. Andrew came in 2016, COVID. Kirk, well, we could get more from him. Frankly speaking, even Peter Phillips apologized for demonizing Edward Seaga. If you people could not accomplish the things you want in 5 PNP terms, when will you ever achieve it? Well, my response to that, I was never in government. 1. And there are a lot of things that the PNP achieved in the 5 terms. And there are a lot of things that the GLP achieve in their term as well, because in fact the GLP run Jamaica more times than the PNP. I don't know how many people realize that. It's just that the PNP had a long stretch altogether. But
But which the JLP equally had that long stretch in the earlier part, you know, because I remember that Norman Manley was out there in the wilderness for a long time. So a lot of people tend to harp on the 18-year stretch for the PNP. But if you look at this present scenario, the JLP is in office 13 out of the last 17 years. So when you put all of those in, but Colin, it's an argument that the PNP, I'm not going to do it for the PNP. They must do it themselves. It's an argument that the PNP, you guys have to debunk. Because this argument about what the PNP has done, it's a fallacy. For example, in PJ Patterson last term, he built 17 schools in Western Jamaica alone. We're not talking about improving classroom. We're talking about new schools. New schools, right? You talk about the situation.
Kirk is saying that we have no plan. Kirk, I am putting forward a plan. It's a PNP plan. I am putting forward a plan.
Massive plan.
I am putting forward a plan, Kirk, for 500,000 jobs, high-paying jobs, earning $30 billion annually. Show me a plan that the GLP can compare to that plan. And it's a plan that we are giving you timeline and we are giving you costs. So, what I would love, you see, Conrad, to debunk this kind of argument, I'd love Kirk to call. And we could put the facts on the table. Let's have a debate. That's what we are inviting. Let's have a respectable debate, like how me and Conrad attack, Kirk. When you come on and me, you can reason about these points. Yeah? Because don't forget, you know, that the Bruce Golding administration destroyed the Jamaica economy, you know. Brought us to our knees, you know. Don't forget that.
Certainly, facts are there. The economy shrink. The economy shrink by 5% during that period. That's what happened when the PNP came back to office. There was no plans in place. That is when Jamaica was seen as after basically go on bended knees and so on. And Portia had to leave her Christmas dinner, went to the United States to meet with people like the Black Caucus and so on, and they talked to Christine Lagarde and so on, you know. So it's a lot of things. And when we say these things, people must understand it has nothing to do with party. It has to do with putting the facts out there and so on. And we have to reach a place in Jamaica where people recognize that, listen, these are information that you can go and check it for yourself. You don't have to take mine. It's similarly to people talk about Chris Tufton when he was Minister of Agriculture. The agriculture sector shrunk by 5% under Tufton's watch. But he was out there purloining all over the place. These are facts. You know, and they're there on the various website, whether it is Statin or it is it is the PIOJ or whatever, you know. So you can go and look at those information, Kirk.
Remember, after 4 years of Bruce Golding and Andrew Wellness, IMF had nothing to do with Jamaica. They wouldn't even talk to us. They wouldn't even talk to us. You said the economy shrink, Conrad. I said crash. Because when you have an economy running like how Jamaica is running now, where we borrow from Peter to pay Paul, that's what we continue to do. Borrow from Peter to pay Paul, and none of the lenders would talk to you. We were in a quandrum. Peter Phillips, Minister of Finance then, and the most honorable Portia Simpson, Prime Minister, had to use connections. Jamaica lost all its credit ratings. Remember that. Remember that. So even this platform that we are on now saying that we're buying bus without borrowing, which is not true. Which is not true. We're borrowing a lot of money, more money than we borrowed last year, to finance the budget.
Indeed.
So to talk about we're buying bus and not borrowing. No go so.
We're borrowing.
We are borrowing like crazy. And what we are putting on the table now as a party, Kirk, is that we are going to develop the culture and the creative industry to turn Jamaica's economy around. We have a plan. So come one morning, make we talk and hear the GLP plan.
And that is important. That's important, you know. So the argument that people come and being absolute and throwing the baby out with the bathwater, that like Kirk is doing now, it make absolutely zero sense. No sense whatsoever.
Well, I am inviting Kirk to call us.
Mm-hmm.
Call us, and if you want to come on like Conrad, once you have your fax, I can send you the link. Army will call you if you don't have the credit for call. No disrespect.
You'll accommodate him. You'll accommodate him. You bend backwards to accommodate him.
Yeah, man. We want to hear the things that going against us. Me not just like singing to the choir. I don't just like singing to the choir. I want to hear the other side. So Kirk, don't be afraid to come on the show and make we have a wholesome discussion on these issues. You hear I talk briefly to Jigs this morning about FinSac to hear his side, and Jigs is ready to talk. He was somebody who was there. Ralston Hyman is ready to talk. Somebody who was there, who knew all of these things. So one of the problems that the GLP is having with social media, you know, Conrad, is social media is pulling off the wool off of people's eyes, you know.
Absolutely. And what happened also, the social media, which was the darling in the past for the JLP, they have now basically removed the wool and laying the Jamaica Labour Party bare. You know, the government beer, and a lot of people are seeing it. Sometimes, obviously, you know, there's a bit of fact check need to be done. Like with any media house or anybody who talk, you know, you always have to fact check. I sent a message into a colleague, but I refer to him as a colleague, but you know, a colleague talk show host, and he responded to me, and I said to him, my friend, what you must do is refrain from labeling me, but fact check me. Just fact check me. I would prefer for you to fact check me rather than labeling me, you know, because that's where the rubber hits the road. Are we spreading rumors, misinformation, or are we putting the facts on the line? And before I go, Colin, or before we end, it would be remiss of me not to mention in a big way those players in the industry in Jamaica that continue to keep it alive, you know, those persons who put on the Dream Weekends, the various shows that are all over the place and so on. Even those persons who continue to put on their round robin, you know, the little guy who put on his or her round robin, doing things and so on and so forth, want to hail them in a big way because they have shown the cojones rather, that the industry is certainly alive and well. And if given the kind of leadership, Colin, that you have been talking about so eloquently, certainly we can, you know, really, as the saying goes, we can break the glass ceiling.
Definitely. Conrad, it's been a good morning. It's been a very good morning. And of course, we'll be back here next week. And my ears say I'm supposed to go back on radio, you know. Next week we talk about that, people. Next week we talk about that.
All right, we'll talk, and let me just end by saying to Jigs, respect Mr. Ennis, keep on keeping on, and I'd be happy to engage you one morning on my radio program straight up on News Start 93 FM, because I also have in mind to speak with my good friend out of Central Clarendon, a man who have a lot of time for the cultural industry as well, and indeed the transportation sector of this country. I'm talking about none other than the Honorable Lester Michael Henry, Mike Henry, affectionately. So, I am I'll be talking to Mike as well, because, although Mike is still in the parliament, but we know he is not as fluid rather, as he has always been, certainly in terms of his mobility. So we have to reach out to these people, because they're like, another person, Dr. Carl Blight down there in Westmoreland. So we need to talk to all these people,
Yes, man. Touching base.
Blessings.
Blessings, my
all
brother.
right,
One love. Yeah, man.
One
Thanks
love
for being on.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. To my listeners and viewers, thank you for joining in this morning to Portland Spice TV. Share the channel every day, Like up the video and subscribe. See you next week. Same time, same place. One love.